Tonight, on this Einstein Factor final, an internet advertiser has the Luftwaffe in his sights, a pharmacist breaks the ice with the daring Shackleton, and a retiree brings Prussia to bear with Frederick the Great. Peter Berner, good evening and welcome to the Einstein Factor. Footy's finals, maybe a couple of weeks away, but finals fever has hit us early at the Einstein Factor. Our brains trust is here, eager to get on with it. They're taking it so seriously that one of them has actually employed a fitness coach. See if you can guess which of these three people is doing a few more wind sprints than they would normally do. Ladies and gentlemen, our brains trust, Barry Jones, Jennifer Byrne Red Symonds. People often call him a national treasure. They often call him a living legend, but for some reason they hardly ever call him Jonesy. Please welcome Dr. Barry Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry, welcome. Welcome back again.
Glad to be here again.
Now, Barry, it is footy finals time all around the country, all the many different codes. Did you show any prowess with a ball of any shape as a younger man?
Absolutely not. When I was in school, my preferred position was to be the goal umpire for the losing side, because I thought there'd be less activity involved.
Do you follow any of the codes now? Any particular code grab your fancy?
No, I mean, where sometimes politics has dragged me along to grand finals and so on,
yes.
I can appreciate the balletic nature of the code.
They love being called ballet dancers, you footballer.
Yes, indeed. But the trouble is, I mean, it's been said of Bob Carr that he used to go to football grand finals carrying a book, and it's true that I've generally had a book just by way of reserve in a side pocket, but I'm trying to be careful not to actually show it, let alone read it aloud. Well,
if at any time tonight you need to flick past to one of your Brains Trust members, I'll be interested to see how that goes. Barry Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Our next trustee, former publisher, a globe-trotting reporter and award-winning journalist. But these days, she likes nothing better than curling up with a good book, a cup of tea and a national television audience. Would you please welcome host of the First Tuesday Book Club, Jennifer Byrne. Welcome back, Jen.
Lovely to be here.
What about yourself as, in your youth?
Your footy? Well, growing up in Melbourne, as I did, I had a team.
Which one?
It was called Richmond, the Tigers,
yes.
And I went along.
Still is called Richmond.
Thank you, yes. Yeah, well, yes, but it's mentioned less rarely in dispatches, I understand, these days.
Each week, were you one of these each week staff?
No, I went to a few grand finals without a book. And, no, I used to quite like it. And then I moved to Sydney, and the code there is not quite...
As strong?
Oh, no. They're very large. They're very big. There's nothing balletic about your rugby league players.
Your rugby league players are
Yes, so I've gone...
Bulletic.
Bulletic. Yes, they're very bulletic. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jen Byrne to our Brains Trust. And our final trustee's career in music, television and radio has made him such a recognisable face that everywhere he goes, people are always pointing and saying, hey, it's that guy.
You're that guy?
Please welcome Captain That Guy, Red Symonds.
Hello, Peter.
What about yourself, Red? A bit of a, like that?
Well, on the radio, I talk about football pretty much most days.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, and I'm passionate about sport, but generally about the wrong things. Yeah.
Cheerleaders, you like?
Yes.
Yes, and the big break in the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, our Brains Trust. Give them a round of applause. Barry Jones, Jennifer Byrne, Red Symonds. Enough talking to them. Let's meet the very important finalists tonight. The winner of tonight's show does indeed go through to a chair in our grand final. No pressure. Just thought I'd mention it right off the top. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the first of our finalists, Andrew McDonald, an internet advertiser from New South Wales who has shot down Hercule Poirot, Buddy Holly and Edward III and Alice Cooper as he flew into the final tonight. Welcome back, Andrew.
G'day, Peter. How you going?
Not too bad. You've brought back with you your special subject?
Yes, I have. The Luftwaffe, 1936, 1945. And its aircraft as well.
And its aircraft.
Thrown in without any steak knives. They're there.
OK. Here we go. Now, how do you feel? It's one shot away from the grand final. You feel all right?
A little bit nervous.
All right. That's natural.
Good.
Deep breath, relax, we'll head straight into it. The Luftwaffe and its aircraft, 1936 to 1945. Good luck. Here we go, Andrew. Your 90 seconds begin now. In November 1941, which fighter race was promoted to command the Luftwaffe's fighter arm?
Adolf Galland.
Correct. Which government department oversaw the development and production of aircraft for the Luftwaffe?
The RLM. Reichsluftfahrtministerium.
Correct. The Blohm & Voss 220 BV-222 flying boat also had what name?
Viking.
Correct. What was the code name for August the 13th, 1940, the day Germany...
Adlertag.
Correct. What was the position, usually a major or above, of a Geschwader commander?
Pass.
Commodore. Entering service in 1941 was which mainstay fighter designed by Kurt Tank?
Focke-Wulf FW-190.
Correct. Which tactical unit of up to 16 aircraft was divided into Schwarme?
Staffel.
Correct. In 1944, flying units from which country were organised into the Luftwaffe Legion Lettland?
Latvia.
Correct. Selected for the abortive America bomber project, the Junkers Ju-390 had how many engines?
6.
Correct. The destroyer HMS Intrepid was sunk during Luftwaffe attacks on which Greek island in September 1943?
Crete.
Leros. Luftwaffe volunteers assisted General Franco as part of Germany's Operation what?
Hiswas.
Feuerzauber, Magic Fire. Name either battle cruiser for which the Luftwaffe provided effective cover in the so-called Channel Dash.
Gneisenau.
Correct. Erhard Milch was one of 3 Luftwaffe generals promoted to Field Marshal on what date?
Pass.
July 19, 1940. First flying in late 1942 was which night fighter, also named the Uhu or Eagle Owl?
Heinkel HE-219.
Yes, you got it, Andrew. Well done. 1,000 points. All right. Made it through the first 15. We have the bonus question to come, Andrew. It's true or false. Brains Trust eager to help you out if they can. Here we go. Known by the German term for jazz music, was an upward-firing cannon fitted to Luftwaffe night fighters. True or false? How do you want to play it?
I'm actually going to take it myself.
You are? OK. Known by the German term for jazz music, was an upward-firing cannon fitted to Luftwaffe night fighters.
Schlagermusik. True.
True. Well done, Andrew. Just holding it together on a final. At 100 to his score, takes him 1,100. You can relax now. You're through your special subject on this finals edition. Let's meet now our next contestant. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome John Oakley, please. The New South Wales pharmacist who has scored adventurously while comfortably seeing off challenges from Charlie Chaplin, Queen, Bach and pre-communist China. So far in the series, welcome back, John.
Thank you, Peter.
You brought with you your special subject again.
The Life and Times of Sir Ernest Shackleton.
Sir Ernest Shackleton. Now, I want to bring this to your attention. Just, I don't know, hopefully it'll relax you a little bit. There's been some debate amongst the crew upstairs who view the tapes over again. They say you have a bit of a resemblance to one E. Shackleton, Esquire. Have you ever thought that yourself? Passing...
I think he was probably taller and broader and a bit heavier and probably drank a bit more as well, so...
So the answer's no?
I think no.
You don't have to run the guy down, you just have to... You could have just said no. John, here we go. The Life and Times of Ernest Shackleton. Good luck. Your 90 seconds begin now. Ernest Shackleton was knighted in 1909 by King Edward the what numbered?
7th.
Correct. While his wife Emily died in her late 60s, Ernest Shackleton died in his late what?
40s.
Correct. Ernest Shackleton's father Henry moved the family to Dublin in part due to the failure of what Irish crop?
Potato.
Correct. After failing to reach the South Pole, Shackleton said better a live donkey than a what?
Dead lion.
Correct. Shackleton's Nimrod Shore party included 2 surgeons and a baronet, Sir Philip who?
Brocklehurst.
Correct. Shackleton had 1 brother and how many sisters?
1 sister.
8 sisters. When Shackleton was 16, he left college and joined the crew of which ship bound for South America?
The Horton Tower.
Correct. Ernest and Emily Shackleton had their first child in what year?
1905.
Correct. What supply ship was associated with the Ross Sea Party?
The Aurora.
Correct. Setting out for the South Pole on November the 2nd, 1902 were Shackleton, Robert Falcon Scott and Dr. Edward who?
Wilson.
Correct. When Shackleton purchased the ship he later christened Endurance from Norwegian whaling magnate Lars Christensen, it was called what?
Polaris.
Correct. Heroes of the Ross Sea Party were 4 dogs named Oscar, Gunner, Towser and what?
Samson.
Con. In December 1916, Ernest Shackleton arrived in which country?
Chile.
New Zealand. The headstone of Shackleton's grave on South Georgia reads Ernest Henry Shackleton, immediately followed by what single word?
Explorer.
Correct. The hut constructed for Shackleton for the Nimrod expedition was built by which company in London?
Pass.
Humphreys. And that's 15 questions, John. 1,100 points.
Thank you.
Well done. OK, we made it through the 15. You're on 1,100 points. At this point in time, you are even money with Andrew, but you have your bonus question to come. Don't forget the Brains Trust. They don't just look good, they can be good for you. Here we go, true or false? Ernest Shackleton was the first person to take a motor car to the Antarctic. True or false, John? What do you want to do?
I might take that one, I think.
Oh, OK. True or false, Ernest Shackleton was the first person to take a motor car to the Antarctic?
I believe it's true.
It is true, John. Well done. Add 100 to John's score. Takes him to 1,200. Puts him 100 in front of Andrew. Relax and sit quiet. You're right. You've gone through your special subject round. Let's meet our final finalists for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, make him welcome David Rogers, please. A retired Defence public servant from Victoria who saw off the Monkeys and the graphic Sandman and then Powderfinger and James Joyce in a comfortable ride to the final tonight. Welcome back, David.
Thank you, Peter.
You've brought back your special subject?
I have, which is King Frederick the Great of Prussia.
All right, David. Have you been back at the books, swatting hard since we last saw you?
A little bit on battles, because it's not the area that I was particularly interested in before.
But now?
That was my weak spot.
Well, you never know what's coming up over the next...
It probably is still my weak spot.
All right, here we go, David. Frederick the Great is your special subject. Good luck. Your 90 seconds begin now. Like all Prussian kings until 1806, Frederick had the title Elector of where?
Brandenburg.
Correct. Which year saw the outbreak of the Third Silesian War?
1756.
Correct. How old was Frederick when he succeeded to the Prussian throne?
22.
28. Upon ascending the throne, Frederick dismissed which military unit noted for the height of its soldiers?
The Giant Guards.
More information?
The Giant Guards Regiment.
Yes, correct. Signed on December the 25th, 1745 was which treaty that established Prussian rule in Silesia?
Treaty of Dresden.
Correct. Frederick's brother-in-law Adolf Frederick von Holstein-Gottorp became king of which country?
Sweden.
Correct. Made a count by Frederick was which Venetian-born philosopher and art critic said to have been his lover?
Algarotti.
Correct. At which battle in December 1757 did Frederick's forces decisively defeat a much larger Austrian army?
Hochkirch.
Leuthen.
Oh.
In 1741, which diminutive officer was given command of a new hussar regiment named after him?
Von Zieten.
Correct. In 1775, Frederick appointed which composer as Kapellmeister of the Royal Opera?
Bach.
Reichardt. Upon succeeding to the throne, Frederick had a new wing added to which palace, then outside Berlin?
Charlottenburg.
Correct. A great admirer of Prussia and Frederick was which Tsar who made peace with Prussia in 1762?
Tsar Paul I.
Tsar Peter III. The Prussian Watch Trading Company was established in 1772 to develop overseas trade. Maritime was what we needed.
Okay.
David, the buzzer beater, still 800 points. Well done. All right, here we go, David. True or false time. Brains Trust sitting there eagerly. Haven't been used yet tonight, so it could all be storing up just for you. Here we go. True or false. It was long intended for Frederick to marry Princess Amelia, a daughter of Britain's George II. True or false, David? How do you want to play?
I'll throw that to the Brains Trust, Peter.
Oh, for a possible 200 points. True or false?
Well, I think it was intended, but it was a marriage. For a whole variety of reasons, it wasn't going to work out.
Right.
So I think I'd put it down as false.
Pretty much what I was going to say.
All right. Brains Trust is saying false. It's false. What would you have said, David?
Well, I would have said it's true, at least as far as his mother was concerned. His father was a bit ambivalent about it.
It was true. It was long intended for Frederick to marry Princess Amelia, a daughter of George II. True was what we needed, David. It was long intended.
I failed.
I would have said it was true. Sorry, Dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of round one tonight on the Einstein Factor. Let's review the scores before we go any further. David's on 800, Andrew's on 1100, John's on 1200. It's a finals edition. It's close. Round two's next. Round two, it's all about choice. Unlike when I was 9 and my mum made me wear a safari suit, but it's enough about that. That's what therapists are for. Here's tonight's special subjects. Name-calling, the president, something sporty, ruling arms, famous flicks, avians, sable, playing games, chicken cacciatore and big business. Andrew?
Let's try ruling arms. Thank you.
Ruling arms it is. The question tonight. The powerful Florentine Medici's family coat of arms bears 5 what? Is it A, balls, B, diamonds, or C, stars? 5 seconds. Hey, Brains Trust.
The answer's definitely balls.
You just wanted to say that. So this came up in conversation recently. The origin of pawnbrokers' symbol, which is 3 balls, came because the Medicis were the original pawnbrokers.
That's right.
Balls.
Balls?
I mean, in the sense that they do A.
True. Hey, balls. Everyone enjoying saying balls on the ABC. Let's see what our contestants selected. An A and a C and an A. The correct answer is A, balls. Well done, Andrew and David, and of course the Brains Trust. All right, John.
Name calling, please.
Name calling it is. Here we go. The question. What's the famous surname of siblings Ahmet, Diva and Dweezil? Is it A, Zane, B, Zappa, or C, Zellweger? 5 seconds. Brains Trust.
Anyone. It's like that story about it. If you could...
He's got no idea. No idea.
I fear it's out of my comfort zone.
I was talking to Barry last year and he said to me, you seem like a very nice woman, but he said, is it true you really listen to Eminem? Oh! It has to be. Anyone who grew up in the 70s. Of course it's Zappa.
Zappa.
Of course it's Zappa.
You're saying it's Ahmed Zappa, Diva Zappa and Dweezil Zappa?
Well, Dweezil's the only one I'm sure of.
Bit of a giveaway.
And there's Moon Unit too, remember Moon Unit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ordinary one. All right, here we go. B, they say it's the Zappa family. Let's see what our contestants selected. B, B and B. Correct. B is right. Zappa.
Very much overstep. Very much overstep.
David.
The president, thanks. Pete.
The president, here we go. Famous for his anti-American rhetoric, Hugo Chavez is president of where? Is it A, Colombia, B, Nicaragua, or C, Venezuela? 5 seconds. Hugo Chavez is president of where, Brains Trust?
I've actually seen him in one 4-hour speech.
Good Lord.
He is second only to Che Guevara for the length of his oratory.
Or Castro.
That's true. That's true. We know.
Oh, go on, show off for the
Okay.
cameras.
It's Venezuela. It's C.
It's C, with all great confidence. Venezuela. Let's see what our contestants selected. C and a C and a C. Correct answer is indeed C, Venezuela. Hugo Chavez. I'm glad you completed that. He's very famous for his incredibly long oratory. Let's go back to Andrew.
Something sporty.
Something sporty this way comes. Here we go. Fartlek is a system of training best associated with which sport? Is it A, cycling, B, running, or C, swimming? 5 seconds. Brains Trust.
Do you know, Barry?
I'm struggling again.
You'd remember it if you'd heard it before, wouldn't you? Fartlek. You wouldn't do it swimming because people would notice.
That's true.
Cycling, there'd be somebody behind you. Running. Let's go with running.
Running, Brains Trust is saying B. They
Squeaky
think
floorboard.
the Fartlek system is running. Let's see what our contestants selected. A B and a B and an A. The correct answer is B, running. Well done.
Idiot savant.
It's specifically distance running. It means speed play in Swedish. Not a lot of use for it in the walking because of all that clinching that they do. There is no. John?
Playing games.
Playing games. Here we go. In the early 90s, Tasmanian Shirley Whitehouse was world champion at what? Is it A, bridge, B, crosswords, or C, Scrabble? 5 seconds. Brains Trust.
We're
I've
just
got
veering
an
to our
idea.
right.
I've got an idea. It's Scrabble.
Any reason?
No, it's just an odd association, and I think without any great confidence, I'd say it was Scrabble.
As the captain of the team, I have an odd association with Barry, who has an odd association with the answer, so I think we should go with Scrabble.
Okay. C, Scrabble. Let's see what our contestants selected. C and a C and a C. Ooh, everyone's gone with C. Nearly. B was what we needed. Crosswords.
Really?
Shirley Whitehouse was the champ at crosswords.
Wow.
There we are then. One across. David.
Famous flicks, thanks.
All right, famous flicks it is. The question, which is the only movie to have starred both husbands of Barbara Streisand? Is it A, The Amityville Horror, B, Capricorn 1, or C, The Long Goodbye? 5 seconds.
Ooh. Well, do we know what...
Who were the husbands?
There's... Yeah. Yeah, who are the husbands?
Well, they're both male. That narrows it down a little.
Well, this is not your strong area, is it? Or is it?
I'm a great fan of Robert Altman, and Robert Altman was the director of The Long Goodbye, and I would have, well, I don't know, given the richness of his, cultural complexity, I mean, in the absence of any other information, I think I'd go for the Robert Altman film.
Because it's Hollywood and she would have married Hollywood
Which one's the
stars.
Robert Altman film?
C, The Long Goodbye.
Because Capricorn was that fantastic one when they faked the Mars landing. Remember? That wouldn't be the sort of person who'd marry Barbara Streisand, would it? Maybe. In the Amityville Horror.
We tried this technique with Barry on the last question. It didn't work, quite frankly.
No.
Yeah, C, The Long Goodbye. His fault.
C, already blame. C, The Long Goodbye. Let's see what our contestants selected. B and a B and a C. What would it help you if I told you James Brolin and Elliot Gould were her husbands?
I bet it's Capricorn 1, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is B. It is Capricorn 1. Well done, Andrew and John. Capricorn 1
James Brolin.
and Elliot Gould.
Elliot Gould. Lucky her.
You know?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Elliot Gould was okay. Yeah. He was good. Sorry, don't look shocked.
But you haven't done badly.
Thank you very Thank you very much.
Andrew Denton just punching the air right now. You're not so bad yourself. Here we go. Let's have a look at the scores now at the end of round 2 on tonight's Einstein Factor. David's on 950, Andrew's on 1400, John just a nose in front on 1450. Finals edition. Round 3 takes us one step closer to round 4, time permitting. It hasn't permitted us yet, but you never know. Your luck, we may get to round 4 eventually on one show, if you're lucky. Our contestants will need luck, reflexes and knowledge to beat each other, and the Brains Trust tonight, Dr Barry Jones, Jennifer Byrne and Red Symonds, to take their place in the grand final. Yes, indeedy do. Andrew, John, David, good luck. It's a very close game. There's enough questions to make it anyone's from here. Good luck. Opening on Broadway in September 1964 and starring Zero Mostel as Tevier. Andrew.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Correct. Tevier the Milkman was the hit musical Fiddler where? He was on the roof. Much of Ernest Shackleton's time exploring was sponsored by the Royal What Society? Andrew.
Geographical Society.
Correct. Takes you to 1600. The Al-Sabah family are the rulers of which small constitutional monarchy on the Persian Gulf coast that in 1990 was invaded by neighbouring, David?
Kuwait.
Iraq. Kuwait is correct. Takes David over the 1,000 to 1,050. Luftwaffe aircraft made by which company were designated by the abbreviation ME? David?
Messerschmitt.
Correct. Takes you to 1150. Closing the gap. Dying in suspicious circumstances in Jamaica during the 2007 Cricket World Cup. Brains Trust.
Bob Woolmer.
Was the coach of Pakistan, Bob Woolmer. Well done. What is the 11th sign of the zodiac, but the first in alphabetical order? Andrew.
Aquarius.
Correct. To 1700. David on 1150. John 1450. Andrew staking a claim for the final on 1700. Having a stylised elephant as its logo and also known as the Grand Old Party is which Brains Trust?
Republican.
Major US political party, Republican. Ridiculous farces was Frederick the Great's opinion of the plays of which writer? David.
Shakespeare.
Arguably the greatest in English was Shakespeare. Well done. To 1250. Derived from a question is what term for a story or play about a murder in which the killer's identity, Andrew,
Who done it?
is revealed at the end. Who done it? To 1800. What is the popular term for the rapid offensive tactic combining air and...
Blitzkrieg.
Andrew. Blitzkrieg is correct. Ground forces employed by Germany in World War II. Blitzkrieg. In 1901, Ernest Shackleton was commissioned as an officer in the Royal... Andrew.
Naval Reserve.
Correct. Naval Reserve. According to Right Said Fred's massive hit, the subject of the song, Brains Trust?
I'm too sexy.
Yeah, no doubt, but that doesn't answer that actually doesn't answer my question.
Well, keep asking, I'll let you know.
The subject of the song thinks he's too sexy for Milan, New York, and which Asian country? We needed Japan. Frederick the Great was a gifted player of which musical instrument? David.
The flute.
Correct, he played the flute. Many tourists flock to the Backs, a section of what English university through which, David?
Cambridge.
The River Cam flows. Correct. Takes you to 1450. The carbon dioxide concentration in the blood becomes abnormally low in what condition caused by stress? Brain trust?
Not
The bend.
No, caused by stress or anxiety. That's also called overbreathing. We needed hyperventilation. That's the end of the Einstein Factor tonight. Andrew, on 2,000 points, is marching his way into the grand final. Well done, Andrew. How does that feel? You're taking up the second chair.
Better than it did for the Luftwaffe in 45.
Yeah, all right. We already have one contestant into the grand final whose special subject is Broadway musicals. If my memory serves me correctly, you'll be joining him with the Luftwaffe. Congratulations on 2,000 points. To our runners-up, David and John, both finishing on 1,450 points. Thank you so much for being a part of the Einstein Factor. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you.
To David, to John, to Andrew, please give them a round of applause, please. And also, keep the applause going as we thank our Brains Trust, who will be paid in the usual ABC way with compliments. Barry Jones, Jennifer Byrne and Red Symonds, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next week for our special Junior Einstein Factor as we find Australia's next Wunderkind. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week. Good night.